Uh, Listen, because we do have a lot of these young cats out here overdosing. Because right now in the culture, the dominant society pushes this thing where it's cool to be a little druggy. And I know down in Atlanta, um, and not just in Atlanta, but in other places, they got these new drugs that they're using. Dudes are huffing these like what are these things? They're huffing on these canisters. I forgot what it was, but they always got some kind of new thing to get high with that's being pushed. They always got some new designer drug or some new fad drug that they're pushing on us. And
Nah, I don't agree with that part. I believe there's always some fads and drugs, but when he says pushing on us, I don't agree that there's a deliberate attempt to push on. Well, there's no clear, provable, deliberate attempt to push on black folks because apparently everybody's using it. But the people who cannot afford to use them are black people, you know. But again, my name is Unbiased Sports. I'm unbiased. You know, why? The question that comes to my mind is why do black people feel like they gotta get high? They gotta get on drugs. So it's almost like, black folks brag about the customer and the hustler. Jay Z, like, I'm a hustler, homie. You a customer, homie. Well, if there's a conspiracy to get black folks on drugs by this elite, then the elite looking like, I'm a hustler, homie. You a customer, homie. Like, they look at the black nation as a customer. Like, nah, we're gonna keep producing drugs because you are forever collectively. You guys are forever crackheads. So no, we're not gonna stop. Where it's supply and demand, we're gonna keep supplying you what you demand. You guys want to get high, we're gonna make sure that happens. Stop wanting to get high, and any attempt we have to serve you drugs, it's not gonna profit. But you're collectively, you guys are a customer. That's why we're gonna keep coming up with new fad drugs because this is what you guys want. It's not what we want to give you, it's what you guys want. Because every time there's a new drug out, black folks are the leading people, proponents out there to use it. I don't know if there's a conspiracy to keep us drugged and high, then somebody knows something about it. Somebody know that black people love to get high innately. So we keep getting them high. I mean, I don't know what it is, but we love drugs. Like we don't care. We see what crack done to us. It decimated the black community still now, ripple effect. And I keep saying on my live, nobody ever said this before me. Like the Jewish got there never again because they experienced some horrific things during the Holocaust. Like, what is the black man never again? What is the black woman never again in America? What is our never again? Like, all right, we experienced this and will never tolerate even a shred of it ever again. Like, what is it? Like, you would think it would have to be slavery or drugs. Those are two things that like destroyed us: slavery and drugs. So you would think our never again would be slavery and drugs. Nah, nah, nah. We could be thieves, murderers, but one thing we're never gonna be is drug dealers and drug addicts, slaves or slave masters. You would think.
we look, family, stay away from all that garbage, dude. Let me.
So, from my observation, what I see holding black people down is really just drugs. Like a lot of our homelessness, it's not like other homeless reasons. Like other people, other nations, homelessness be different reasons. Black folks' homelessness, I haven't done research on this, but I guarantee you, our homeless, a high percentage, majority of them are on drugs. And I don't believe that's the case for other homeless people. I don't believe other homeless people, majority of them are homeless because of drugs. or homeless and on drugs. I believe our problem is just drugs. Like it's making us homeless. It's making us criminals, either getting locked up. Yeah, making us criminals, either buying or selling. But like whatever our failures are, it seems like drugs is the main culprit. So I'm gonna get on Meech debate in a second. I just came across it just now. This is what 1 day ago. I just came across this. He's talking about drugs. I said, you know what? Damn, I want to talk about that briefly, like from what I observed. Like, and and guess what? When you see other homeless people who are homeless, uh, they're not as on drugs like we are, and they don't want to be homeless. Like they're not proud of their condition, right? They want to be homeful. When I observe black homelessness, like these guys be still, they enjoying it. They're homeless gang members. They're like whatever they were in society before they were homeless. They're homeless. That they're homeless and still that. So when they get assistance, and when they get assistance, right? When they get assistance, it's gonna be strict rules. I mean, you would think that they get assistance, that this is do or die now. Like we gotta get it right. This is our last chance. Okay, we're homeless. We got assistance. Our back against the wall. Let's do it right. So there are certain rules that they got to abide by. There's strict rules. This the last veil, right? After this, they just back on the street. Um, they still nothing changes with the assistance. They are still violent if they were that before. They're still a thief if they were that before. They're still criminal if they were that before. Whatever they were before, they're still that, jeopardizing their assistance. Like this, just amazing. And drugs seem to be the the common denominator.
Talk to my youngins out there, to the nephews and nieces, man. That ain't the lick. We don't need no more drug addicts out here. We don't need nobody smoking, huffing, puffing, drinking scissor, none of that stuff. Really leave all that garbage alone, man. Some of the stuff out here, that ain't it. It ain't cool. It ain't fly. They're lacing too much of this stuff with weird chemicals, and then they'll get rappers and record companies will incentivize these dudes to rap about huffing, puffing, sipping, slurping, drinking lean, huffing this, huffing that. That stuff is promoted by the dominant society to make y'all think that shit is cool. It ain't cool. It ain't fly. We don't need no more drug addicts out here. Number one, it's dangerous to your health. Number two, it's just not the move to make. We don't need drug addicts no more. We don't need nobody running around high no more. We got enough of that. We need thinkers. We need your mind clear.
And plus, I was trying to play this by time for Meech to come through so I can play some clips of his debate last night, or conversation, not really debate, but conversation last night, to show where I believe things could have went his way big time. Because I would hate to do a review now. He hops on 15 minutes later, like, what happened? I ain't want to go backwards. So let me buy 5, 10 more minutes, and then if he ain't on, I just play.
We need your game crisp. Listen, if you are a druggie, if you are huffing, puffing, or whatever on anything, you're not going to get a real career out of that unless you're a rapper. And that's going to last only so long. You might OD, and you're definitely going to go broke sooner or later because you're not going to be able to handle your business high. I know how the industry is. I keep
I got
putting the
time.
onus on them because they
Yes.
incentivize you to get high. Black artists,
Now this conspiracy. See, this is, and I understand why the conspiracies come about from Tariq Nasheed and Nation Islam. And it's because like we refuse to like, you know what happens? We're in denial. Like, and we're like baffled. We're like, why do we love drugs knowing it decimates the black communities altogether? But we still run to it. Like, drugs has yet to show a proven track record that help us out. It's been proven to decimate us, destroy us, cripple us, hold us back. And we choose it like it's Popeye spinach. Like, this is gonna help us elevate. Like, we run to it as though like things gonna get better. This is a winning um this is a winning choice.
Whenever you get with these,
So you watch Adam 22. He's on there. He proudly, I don't know if he's trolling himself or he's serious, but he talk white guy Adam 22. He talks about like drugs, like he uses it. It's cool, and of course, like the black rapper gang members on there, like yeah, us too. And like Adam is supposed to be a millionaire, and this guy's a millionaire. Yeah, that's what makes it worse. When you see non-millionaires with drugs, you're like, okay, I guess that's expected. It's a poverty. But when you see millionaires, successful people, and we're assuming that they were not millionaires when they started. No, I'm sorry. So we're assuming that, but we don't know. We don't know if they were. I'm assuming because I haven't heard them talk about the drug addiction before they became successful. So I'm assuming that they got introduced to drugs as millionaires. So I'm like, or successful people, not even millionaires, but successful in their craft. It's like, why do drugs become a optimum choice when for some people when they're on the path of success or already successful in their craft? Like, you see it, especially with entertainment. You know, entertainment, sports, like John Joe Bones. You like, wait a minute. So were you a crackhead before you joined the MMA, or you became a crackhead as you became a great MMA fighter? Like, and so like that's the question I want to know. Like, when did you feel compelled to use drugs? Like, at what stage of your career you feel like, you know what, I'm successful in this sport. I ain't the richest ever, but I got a little money. You know what? Let me use drugs for the first time. I'm assuming they never used drugs before. Remember, they're now experiencing, exploring. It's like, why now? Why wait till you accomplish things you probably didn't think you can accomplish to say, you know what? Yeah, drugs. I'm gonna do drugs. And then you see, like most of these guys dribble away.
corporate entities, the first thing they try to do is push drugs and drink in front of you. I'm telling you from experience. I've been at meetings with these guys at these record labels.
Oh my god! And it's all, see, now because they don't have no proof, like they don't have, like, they can't source this article, they can't source this confession or this expose. It always becomes personal because they can't point you to something. They can't connect dots, so they got to put themselves as the spy on the wall, the fly on the wall. I was in these meetings and this record producer. Okay, so let's see if that was true. So one record producer who probably had this evil, diabolical plot to incentivize drugs and rap music. So that one guy, he represents all of music producers throughout the entertainment. That's why it's a stupid, dumb, moot point. Like, no, we don't want to hear this one producer. And then they gotta, so because they can't do the one producer lie, because people say, hey, that's just one producer. So what they'll do next is say, hey man, there was a meeting where all the producers was in one room. So that you got to do that next because we're gonna say, hey, that's one producer, that's not all. Okay, yeah, but I was in this other meeting where they invited all the producers, and they all came. Yep, they all came. So none of them had to call out. They were busy. And you see, like most meetings, even with like the most important people in the world, they have a meeting. Like you can never get them all in one room. Somebody always got to call out, or even with Grammys, BT Award, like somebody's always missing. You know, but producers, they all gonna make this meeting. It's just they're gonna make this Illuminati meeting because they got to get it down pat. The goal, the plot, the conspiracy. They got to make sure they got it. So anyway, so they'll go there next. So now listen to this guy with this one producer story that represents all producers.
Because the record labels and the television labels, they're all one and the same. So dealing with these execs, you go to meetings with them and you're black, I'm telling you, they offer you all types of new drugs. I'm telling you from experience. I've been at meetings with these guys at these record labels, because the record labels and the television labels, they're all one and the same. So dealing with these execs, you go to meetings with them and you're black, I'm telling you, they offer you all types of new drugs, all types of new drinks. Hey, Tariq, I'm representing so-and-so. We got a new vodka coming out. Man, won't you try it? I get that I used to get that all the time. I don't really hang out with those guys like that, but all the time. They're like, hey, come to this party. Hey, try this. They always got some new designer drug from somewhere.
Yeah, well, Tariq, if they all keep telling you to try it, then maybe they believe you're just a goofy guy to do it. Maybe they believe the rappers ain't that dumb. Maybe they keep asking you, because you're the vulnerable, susceptible guy to actually try it. All right, so I was trying to buy a little time for you, Meech, because I didn't want to start, and then you'd be like, "Hey, what happened?" I didn't want to go backwards. So I said, "All right, let me do a little something different to keep, it going until I can go into your debate." Yes, what do you want? Oh, your towel. Here. Your towel. Your towel. Okay. Here's your new towel. Okay. You got it. Here you go. Okay, go. Go. All right. Let me see what I got. Oh, this is a name. Damn it. Dang it.
They're respected.
So this is it. You there, Meech?
Yeah.
All right. So I memorized. Hey, you know what? You know what's funny? I was when the live I fell asleep on, where I just ran like a lot of videos. I remember waking up to something GMS said, and I said, "Yo, I gotta time." Yeah, I said, "Yo, I gotta timestamp this." So I woke, like I actually got up. What do you want? Okay, open. So I woke up, like they said something so ridiculous. I woke up and looked at the timestamp and then went back to sleep. I just had to see this. I'm like, yeah, this was the most ridiculous claim that you can make. So, I mean, it was like straight, I mean, just wild. So I'm going to play it. I remember it was 1 hour and 16 minutes. And I ain't played it since. So this was like how many days from when I fell asleep? And I still remember this timestamp. It was that, I had to, when you sleep, you don't want to get up. Like, I ain't getting up.
Yeah.
They said something goofy. I had to get up and look. Like, I gotta remember this. I laid back
crazy.
and fell asleep. It was ridiculous. And this is probably why they're like irrelevant on the scene. All right, so let me go there first. So I got two of their videos. It's one of these two. And they might be the same video. I don't even know. But one of these right here, they said it. All right. It was 116. It was like around here.
Meaning he was an Israelite, but he didn't accept the fact that he was.
There we go.
He didn't accept the fact.
Yo. Bro, my God. That's it right there. I had to memorize this one. Oh my God.
That's goofy, bro.
The Israelites that didn't know that they were
Look at this.
The ways. So Jake has surpassed Esau in wickedness. You know?
Okay, so you got something? Okay, and we're going to go to Romans 11, and we're going to go to the 11th verse. That's the controversial part of the scriptures. So
That's what they want to bring out verse you. They want to go to Romans 11. 11 and 11.
Start reading it. It says Romans 11:11, right? It says, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? The Most High forbid. This is Paul
And
talking to the
also,
Israelites.
like, but you didn't point out, which I before I even played up to that point, one of the guys kept stepping in, like I guess as their like representatives, and immediately I was like, okay, that guy's stupid. Like, cause he kept saying, you keep trying to trap us in. It's like, yeah, how do you come to that conclusion? I'm just asking questions about Romans 11, verse by verse, and because your answers aren't providing a track for you guys naturally. It's like, so it's not you're setting something. It's that their answer to the scripture is setting them up for the next question or the next verse. So one guy kind of peeped it.
Oh, yeah. Because look, they weren't even trap questions. They were just normal questions that somebody would read through the text. It wasn't really a trap. It was just, you said it best.
Yeah. So because he was so insecure, see, a lot of these guys, when they read these passages, like they know, like, oh shit, that's how I'm going to explain this. You know, so he kind of already knew if they ever got confronted on this, that he got to step in and derail it. So, but the person who thinks like that is usually the dumbest one in the bunch. So I was like, yo, that guy's stupid. On my live today, I said, yo, that guy's stupid. I could tell that's the dummy of the group. And as y'all kept going, he proved me to be right. Like, so you got to identify, especially talking to 3 or 4 more people. You got to identify the dummy in the group. All right, let me ignore him and talk to everybody else, because he was the more like nervous and
He was just skittish, man. Like everybody else wanted to give an answer for things. He was the only one that was like, you know, well, why you asking that? You know, I'm like, I'm asking it.
Yeah,
and then I think he was the one that went to, or maybe it was Taz, went to like verse 15, and I was just like, you know, I should have just really just answered the questions and be like, well, this really has no relevance to the whole topic at hand. Who are these Gentiles?
You know, here, you can come sit down. Wait, come over here.
Because you can presuppose that my position is wrong, and I can presuppose your position is wrong. Let's just keep reading.
Yeah. That's nothing you did, like, because you just said it, but I pointed out in the live. I was like, now he's asking you questions that have nothing to do with whether these are Israelites or Gentiles, and you are because sometimes you can duck your head and swim. Like, you're not swimming with your head up to see, and there's a crocodile approaching, and you got your head in the water just swimming. And that's kind of that debate. Like you were set on what you wanted to bring out, and you didn't care what they was going to bring out. You're just going to sidestep and just keep going. And they're bringing out deflection scriptures or deflection arguments, and you're not tackling them right there or addressing them right there. Sometimes, dude, like I said, especially the debate, when you have an argument or point you're trying to make, you want to get there without any rabbit holes, any distractions. But sometimes they'll say something where it has to be addressed, and you have to stop where you're going. And earlier when I was live, I played like a quick game of chess to show that I have a plan. Like every time I move, I was trying to show my plan. But the game was 1 minute. It was a 1 minute game, so I had to move super fast. I couldn't explain too much, but I was just explaining, like, I have a plan, and this is what I want to do. But I have to wait for their move. Chess, you got to go. Then your opponents go. So their move can make me change my plan. I don't want to change my plan, but I have to, because it's not going to work if I just do it anyway, regardless of their move. So debating is similar to chess. Okay, even football, like football, you can make chess analogies with football. You can make chess analogies with. You can make debate analogies with football because the defense and the offense. You know, sometimes you try to neutralize the attack or things like that. Anyway, you had a plan and you were going to do it regardless of the claims they're making and the stances they're taking. So one guy said this. So when he seen kind of where you're going, the same guy, the same retarded guy, he was like, yo, I want to point out our stance is just because we admitted, because you had him earlier, you said they admit that Israel was all Israel. And you read it again, and they admit twice, this is all Israel. So
Oh, in
then,
verse 7.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, one of the verses.
Yeah,
I don't remember the verse, but all I know is that you admit twice, it's all Israel. So then the guy must have read up real fast. Oh, I just want to point out that just because Israel's all Israel, it doesn't mean that when we read about somebody else who's not Israel, that they're not all Israel. And then you was like, I don't know what your response was, but you just kept reading. And like, there's no way you should let that fly. There's no
okay.
There's no because now like if you don't, it's called acquiesce. If you don't, you didn't argue. So it's true. It's like, okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like you kind of agreeing that either it's true or it made sense. Like, oh, okay, but you had your head in the water where you were not looking to see what's around you. Like, no, wait, what? Say that again? Yeah, just because we agree that Israel's all Israel doesn't mean when we read about somebody else, they're not Israel. All right, brother. If somebody's all Israel, how can somebody else be included? If this is all Israel, how can another person be included? He's the outsider at this point. No, he's Israel too. Well, how come he's not included in Israel? See that you're saying that the Bible's not saying. The Bible's not okay. You're saying he's included, but is Paul including him? Yeah. And what word? Gentile. Okay. Did Paul include him with the word Israel? Okay, cool. So listen what you're saying. Listen what you're saying. You're saying they're all Israel, but they have a different name that's outside of Israel. So they're not all Israel. And you could say they're all God's people, a different terminology, different word, but you can't say all Israel because we got all Israel. These people are outside of Israel. Whatever Israel is, this word right here, Gentiles, outside of that. So I don't know how you want to, rationalize this, but that's what it is right now. So don't tell me they are Israel and they're given a different name than Israel. That's like my last name is Harrison. At a family reunion, I'm saying, yo, Meech is all Harrison. Meech, what's your last name? Like, is it Maddox?
Yeah.
Nah, see, but he's all Harrison. Nah,
yeah.
Nah, he's not all Harrison. He's Maddox. He's outside of Harrison. It don't matter who you relate to. It don't matter who you marry. Got your name changed. Don't matter. At this family reunion, you're not Harrison.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like if that dumb dude wasn't in there, the conversation would have went differently.
But I felt like it could have been the same how you just address some things and not just let them just say
go over it.
So look. So first of all, let me play this guy right here with this crazy stuff. Then I'm gonna play what I'm talking about that.
But rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. So now when you see the word Gentiles, you're thinking about other nations. But these Gentiles right here are actually Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites.
That's stupid. That is stupid. This is why people don't take them seriously, man.
So I woke up to that like, what? Okay. So how can they be mad at? So let's say if they were right. Let's say they were absolutely correct. This divine insight. How could they be mad at Christians?
Yeah, if the people themselves didn't know that they were Israelites, how do you expect Paul to know that they're Israelites?
But how do you expect Christians 2,000 years later to say they're Gentiles, not Israelites, if the people at the time didn't know they were Israelites? It's like, so the Christians today are justified. The Catholics are justified by saying they're Gentiles.
Yeah.
You gotta be mad at God at that point. Like God withheld that mystery from everybody. So no wonder the world is blind to this.
Yeah, and he just somehow just decided to reveal it, 100 years ago.
Right. And then, that's a tough task now.
Mm-hmm.
The word there is heathen, Gentiles, or
Nation.
Greeks.
All right, whatever.
Definitely
like Timothy's father was a Greek, meaning he was a
it's just the part right here.
Greeks.
But listen,
like Timothy's father was a Greek, meaning he was an Israelite, but he didn't accept the fact that he was an Israelite.
I reject. I resent you call me Israelite.
Well, what if I'm not an Israelite, but I've accepted the fact that I am an Israelite, even though I'm not? I just rejected my Gentile heritage.
Right.
Does it work in reverse?
This guy said that that was his explanation. Can you imagine? So I always imagine myself on the big stage debating like this guy, and he said that.
Yeah,
I would just laugh. I would just laugh. Say, everybody, you heard that? Come on, now. Is the debate over now? Is this debate over or not? This guy said that he rejected his nationality. Now, where do we read that anywhere? Somebody rejected nationality. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
But he fell in love with an Israelite woman, or the woman fell in love with him, because they were both of the same genus. They were both of the same. They were probably dark skinned. Ethnos, man. But they had different philosophies. He was raised up by his parents, because his line probably goes back to the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, where they said, "Don't keep these laws. You gotta go into the place of exercise. You gotta eat pork. You gotta bow down to these idols." All right. That's why Timothy wasn't circumcised, because the father was the head of the household. It says 11. Romans 11,
right, 11. So that part, he just made up just a whole new history. So that part, I woke up to. I just had to memorize and say, look, 116:16. I'm like, yo, what? Oh no, I gotta play this again. All right, so let me go to yours now. Wait,
yeah, no, that's wild.
Epiphanies, where they said,
"Oh God!" All right. So let me get back to yours. No. Before I go to yours, I gotta show you this. Okay, so a lot of people are, especially one West, but I'm seeing a lot of Christians too. They are confused on Ephraim, aka Northern Kingdom Israelites, and their stay in Samaria, right? And when they were exiled. Okay, for some reason, especially one West. Now I know, I'm not gonna say it on a lie, but I know why one West want to pretend that some Israelites, specifically Ephraim, Northern Kingdom, was left in Samaria. I know why they need to say that. Okay, they got so anyway, this is why they argue that some of Ephraim, Northern Kingdom, was left in Samaria when they were supposed to be exiled. Okay, so, but I didn't know that there was a debate even amongst the One West guys, but that most of them teach that Ephraim, a remnant of Ephraim, was left over in Samaria. So, but they're going to argue that they all weren't taken out. They all weren't exiled. There's a remnant. Divine Prospect, he came with majority of Ephraim and Northern Kingdom stayed. So he got the reverse argument. He argues remnant was exiled. Major One West.
The remnant was exiled, and the main portion of Israel stayed in the land.
Yeah, that's what Divine Prospect teaches. So I'm going to do that right now. So that caught me by surprise. Like, what? Hold on. Oh my God, they keep trying to get me by this.
Bro, that sounds so stupid.
Oh my God. Okay, where am I?
I really try to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, But when they, man, yeah, let's roll the clip. Let's see what he got to say.
All right, check this out. This is Divine Prospect. Or the clip. That's what they call clips.
Yeah.
So Ephraim was kicked out,
Right,
correct?
so what I did was I played this earlier, and I had to assure people that when they say Ephraim, that's when you hear Israelites, one West Israelites say Ephraim, it's really analogous to or synonymous with Northern Kingdom Israelites. Okay, so let me play it one more time because he's gonna say it real fast. Make clip.
So Ephraim was kicked out, correct?
Some of them were, but a lot of them stayed behind.
Some of them were, but a lot of them stayed behind. All right, so this is
Wow.
But look at the necessity to pretend that they're still there, like to some degree, either a remnant or majority. Like they gotta delude themselves to believe they're still there somehow. In large numbers or small numbers. Now,
right, but I mean, like, so Ephraim was kicked out, correct?
Some of them were, but a lot of them stayed behind.
Right, but I mean,
so
like,
now
so
you
Ephraim
heard that bull claim. What's going to shock you even further is his proof. He actually went to prove, because I'm like, now I'm all ears now. Like, hold up, because I believe something totally different. So I'm like, yeah, I want to hear these remnant arguments because I believe something totally different. So I want to know what I'm up against when I challenge them. When I'm like, they all were gone. So look where he went to justify this. His proof text. It made me believe, unless he corrects himself, right, publicly. His proof text makes me believe he could possibly be nominated for one of the dumbest Israelites.
Oh no, what's the proof text?
Yeah. His proof text makes me believe that he might be justifiably nominated for one of the dumbest Israelites living. Yes.
That's a competitive award to get, man. I don't know.
and I got a bunch of guys like in front of him at first.
Right. I already got like 5 guys, probably more than that I'm thinking are ahead of him, but let's see what this text is. Might put him in the running.
He might win. He might win. I mean, I think One West will vote him as a winner. I forget about me and you. I think One West, if they heard it, they're like, nah, yeah, he's number one.
Okay, so I'll read it. For a majority of the people, many of them from Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun had not cleansed themselves, yet they ate the Passover otherwise than as prescribed. So out of the majority of the people were Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun. They're still in the land. Why are they still in the land if they were just taken into captivity?
You heard him right. So here, one more time.
Okay, so I'll read it. For a majority of the people, many of them from Ephraim.
Yeah, you heard that. For majority of people. So this sounds like, oh, he read it. It says majority of people in Ephraim. But here's the problem. No. That's it. So he read Ephraim and Zebulun and all these other people who were part of Northern Kingdom were in the land, right? And he said, well, why are they still there if they were supposed to be in captivity? So one more time.
Okay, so I'll read it. For a majority of the people, many of them from Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun had not cleansed themselves, yet they ate the Passover otherwise than as prescribed. So out of the majority of the people were Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun. They're still in the land. Why are they still in the land if they were just taken into captivity?
And didn't he read they ate the Passover?
Yeah.
Okay. And they didn't clean themselves, right? Yeah. Hi.
Wait, let me get my timeline together. What year did Northern Israel go into captivity?
Now you don't need to because this is just again he might be number one of the dumbest Israelite. It's no need to do a timeline. Like you got to just read the passage that he's reading. So, like,
Well,
yo,
no,
this
no,
is,
I'm saying because look, when you go up to the top of this chapter, Hezekiah is king.
nah,
I don't think.
he's reading the wrong chapter. This isn't it.
Okay.
Wait, is this the no, no, okay, this is the right one, because at first he was reading the wrong one. And the brother had to say, or this is what he was doing. His screen was he was reading it, but his screen wasn't reflecting the passages. So I'm looking in the background. I believe this is the passage that he's supposed to be reading. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So let me just see if I got it here. In my notes somewhere. Mommy. I might not have the right iPad. Let me just make sure. I got 5. I hate looking through them all. Okay. This is like all my iPads got notes, but just because I update this one doesn't mean it's gonna reflect all of them. It's just gonna change this one. It's not gonna change the other one. All right. Okay. Let's see. So that was First Chronicles. Now I don't think it's that far. All right, but let me. Okay. All right. So now, what were you going to say about the timeline?
Never mind. The timeline's correct. Okay, I'm just making sure because I went up in the beginning of the chapter. I was like, Hezekiah's king. I was like, did Northern Israel go into captivity yet? And they did. They literally.
Yeah. So this is why this is going to be nominated. So I'm trying to see if there's any different iPad. I'm gonna hate to. He laying on me, kicking on me and stuff, kicking the iPad. Oh, he broke my other laptop today. Stop kicking. This might not be. All right, yeah. This won't be the one. All right. So because I got it nicely put. What? Open. All right. So let me see if this is my other one. I'm just gonna airdrop it. If I can find it. Okay, open. I got it. Oh, wait, do I? Is this it? No, this ain't it. This is my Isaiah notes. Oh, no, I do got it. All right. Damn. How do I? Yeah, I think my notes be deleted. I think my notes be deleting. There's something going on. All right. Yes. Okay. Open. So which notes are these? These are my Romans 11. All right. So this is like a more updated one. Romans 11. I got Isaiah 7:12. Let me see what I got in here. See, I got different notes here. All right, cool. I'll do it this way then. Let me just do it over. All right, Meech, you still there? I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Wait, give me a second. Pull it up. Second Chronicles.
Yeah, bro. And then I'll be right back, man. Sidebar. When we were talking yesterday, and dude, did you see how they try? Oh wait, I think you hopped off at this point. Isaiah 65. They tried to say it's not about being called by God's name; it's about calling on His name. And I was like, because you know how we like distinguish the difference between active and passive.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be called is a passive verb in the Hebrew. So I had to break. Oh, is your baby sleeping? Okay, okay. Okay, watch out, watch out. But I was basically breaking that down to them, and they brought out some translation I've never seen before called the BBE, Basic Bible or Bible Basic English or something like that. Yeah, they brought it out for 1 point, bro. That's it. I was like, bro, this is weird.
Yeah. See now, if I was actively talking to him, like, oh no, let's use this for everything else now. Let's use this. Let's use it. Go back to Romans 11. Let's use this.
Yeah, I should have. I should have.
So that's because I'm always in debate mode, no matter what it is. I'm always in debate mode. So it's always in debate mode means I'm always aware or trying to be aware of what somebody's trying to communicate to me for what reasons. All right, let me go back and copy it because I got to change the copy options. Okay, boom, here we are. Okay. All right, so do me a favor and so this is what he pretty much read, but I narrowed down the reading so we can just get right to it. So read verse 2. So it's 2 Chronicles 30:2.
For the king had taken counsel and his princes and all the congregation in Jerusalem to keep the Passover in the 2nd month.
Okay, so this was the King Hezekiah, right? So King
Right.
Hezekiah, come over here. Come over here. So we got to understand what King Hezekiah is doing. He's taking counsel and his princes, and he's going to read verse 5.
All right. So they established a decree to make proclamation throughout all Israel, from Beersheba even to Dan, that they should come to keep the Passover unto the Lord God of Israel at Jerusalem. For they had not done it of a long time in such sort as it was written.
So where are they going to have this Passover at?
At Jerusalem.
Right. So they're rounding up Israel, all of Israel, because Israel's different places, different locations, and they're going to attempt to like get everybody together for the first time in a long, long while, and they're going to have this Passover at Jerusalem. Okay, so now read the scripture that Divine was reading, verse 18.
For a multitude of the people, even many of Ephraim and Manasseh, Issachar and Zebulun, had not cleansed themselves yet they did eat the Passover, otherwise than it was written. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, the good Lord pardon every one.
So did they eat this Passover in Jerusalem or Samaria?
It doesn't say.
No, okay. He had a decree.
Okay. You're saying, okay, verse 5, it was at Jerusalem. Okay.
I mean, what are we doing? The whole point of the Passover, everybody eat at one location, one time to serve the God. So Hezekiah was saying, don't make the mistake. The context is, don't make the same mistakes of your fathers. Everybody come together, eat this Passover. He's trying to bring Israel back together. So everybody who came, they ate the Passover in Jerusalem. So when Divine Prosper was saying many of
they were okay. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
They were not in Samaria. They were in Jerusalem eating the Passover, and many of them did not clean themselves. The context was not that they were left. They didn't leave Samaria. So many of them they didn't clean themselves. You were supposed to before the Passover. That's why Hezekiah prayed for them, and they were forgiven or pardoned. So I don't know how he reads this and make this say
that they were in Samaria.
Many of them was in Samaria.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
They all came to Jerusalem to Passover. So now I had jumped some of the reading just to save time. But if anybody read this back over here, it's gonna say just that. Like, Passover reinstituted. See, he was, and they're assembled at Jerusalem, much people to keep the feast of unleavened bread in the second month, a very great congregation. Jerusalem. So this is all done in Jerusalem. The pre-sprinkling of the blood, Jerusalem. Everything is in Jerusalem. So for him, and 18 doesn't show you different locations. So these people, even many of Ephraim, were not left in Samaria. There's no remnant, and there's no majority in Samaria. These guys, many of them. So it's just saying out of the Ephraimites that came to Jerusalem, many of them were uncleansed. Not all of them, but many were, and they were pardoned by King Hezekiah because he wanted to just keep the peace and keep this union. You know, this truce, this gathering, this unity thing going. So yeah, y'all unclean. Don't worry about it. Let's go and eat. Let's get this. You know, let's get this going. Okay. Put your feet in here. That's what we doing. Yes, it is. 2 feet.
Get the ball back to the offense. Yeah, I think this call's going to stand. Willis McGahee looks like he gets there and knocks the ball out before Ryan Stock throws it. Amari Butler falls on it. That's what he wants.
Okay, here. Back up.
Has a confidence tonight.
Go lay down. Come over here.
Played great on third down.
Come over here. Come. Daddy. Over. I want to Come. I want it. Okay, have your word. So he got it done and stepped up from a team that wasn't winning to a team that was winning regularly. Same thing he did with Baylor. And now it's only going to be 2-0. Come eat.
Bro, my internet is so trash right now.
Yeah. Give me 1 second to get this. I know that damn late. I think his message to the team after this game is going to be, defense, you played outstanding. Flew to the football, you made big plays all night long. Offense, all right. In the first half. Hey, so you see that he used this to justify this one West conspiracy that the Israelites are left in Samaria, and this had nothing to do with Samaria. Actually, wherever they were at, they were coming into Jerusalem for this Passover feast. So that was the weird thing.
Yeah. Is CK watching? Is he in here?
I ain't taking chat. You know, it's hard when I use this iPad. I gotta use a different device to check the chat. Like, unless I just go there like from here. Like, how am I about to do this right here?
Oh, you know, I see it. He in the chat. I think he's still in here. CK, I just saw your comment. Yeah, I will start doing more breakdowns on camp videos, especially on this topic. I'm gonna try to consolidate it and maybe not go through the whole thing because some of this is like they got a lot of rabbit holes that they go down. But the strong points, you know, I'm gonna try to do some breakdowns on my channel when I get some time for sure. Yeah, because those are fun to do. Because bro, I'll be watching some of the stuff they do and some of the memes they post on Facebook, and I'm like, man, I should make a
Okay, so I
YouTube
read it.
video of
For a
this.
majority,
Hey, bro, there was this one Jewish lady. She had posted this 10 New Testament Bible contradictions, and bro, I broke all of that down like piece by piece. It was like 10 points. I was like piece by piece. I was like, oh, you just don't understand. These are two different Greek words. Boom, boom, boom. You know, going through all of it. And it's so funny. People post that stuff, and when you refute it, they're like, "Oh, that's just stupid." Like, okay, I don't know where to go from here. You said these are contradictions. I proved that they weren't. So, you know, it just shows dishonesty at that point. It's kind of like I see Muslims do that too.
Yeah, that was my like when I couldn't get a debate like way back like 15 years ago, before internet was is right now. Actually, like there were no lives at all. Like there were no like how we communicate now. We were using freeconferencecall.com like 15 years ago. And what I would do is I would you got to use software to make it a video because YouTube you can't upload audio. So I got like make a background. And I got to turn the audio to I got to use visuals, turn the audio to a make the audio a video file, and then I can upload the debate on YouTube. So when I couldn't get no more debaters, everybody's like pretty much Israelites were ducking, Islam was ducking. I said, okay, let me go to the next challenge. The next challenge was the mommy. At that time, everybody was bringing up Bible contradictions. I think that's when the court win. It was like the Bible contradictions 101. So I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Let me take that challenge. Let me take the B side. Let me take the side where, because everybody's using them. Atheists, Muslim, everybody's using them. You got what's the other agnostics? Everybody's using these Bible contradictions. So I was like, you know what? Let me look at a couple of these. So so the same Muslim friend that remember we were talking, and you said the Christian had recently we were talking, and you said a Christian had beat a Muslim in the Quran, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, now I contact my boy. My boy never heard of those Muslims. That's what I was trying to tell you. Like he's knee deep.
Oh, Daniel Hakikachu and the other dude.
He never heard of those guys, and I'm saying like he's knee deep in the sheikhs and all that shit, the imams, and he's like, who are these guys? And so you gotta be careful when you say that's like a Muslim debating on one West guy because he's the Bible, he believes in Christ, he's Messianic. That's all Christians. So you gotta be careful like of those arguments. I beat this one guy who claims he's Messianic, so this is all of the Messianic faith. Nah, this one Muslim who claims there's many different faiths in Islam. There's many different Qurans that they use, many different translations they use. Some Muslims they don't believe are Muslims, even though they claim Islam, like the what they call it'll come to mind. But it's the people who read from the Mala Ali translation, the Ahmadiyans. Most of the Muslim world don't even respect them as Muslims, so like,
ask him if he heard of these dudes. I just sent it to you on Facebook. Ask him if he heard of these dudes.
All right. So but real quick, so that same Muslim guy I know. So his brother wanted to like he claimed he's all of a sudden he's a debater. He's a debater. I'm like, all right, which one debate about? What in the Bible? Because at that like this was the beginning of my apologetics in the Bible. So like, okay, what you want to debate about? Yeah, we can debate the Bible. You could make the argument, I'll defend it. So I got these contradictions. And he was acting like these are his. Like I said, at this point, 15 years ago, this website went popping, went viral. Bible contradictions 101. So it went viral. So he's acting like these are his arguments. like he didn't even disclose this from a website. So I got this contradiction. Solomon stalls, were they 40 or 4,000, something like that, 40 or 4,000. So now I played this debate already on my channel. I don't know if you were present, but I played it already. So a lot of research, but he was so belligerent when he was challenging me that I had to kick him off the conference call. He was like so aggressive. Hey, answer this, answer that. Like he wanted me to say words. I kicked him off, and like even Hassan knew his brother was like kind of wild. So the next morning, I call Hassan because now I got the guy his argument. He want to argue Solomon stalls. I was like, okay. So all that night I researched Solomon stalls. So now I got him. So I call Hassan up, not the brother, the belligerent brother. I call Hassan up. I said, Hassan, yeah, I think I saw what your brother was asking for. So apparently Hassan knew his brother argument. But before the next morning, I told his brother that, hey, if I prove this not a contradiction, you got to denounce Islam. He said, okay, I will. Like he put his faith on Islam. I mean, he put his faith on the line. That was weird. Like on a Christian argument. Like, okay. So he don't respect Islam too much to put your faith on the Bible, right? The Bible accuracy. So I spoke to Hassan that next morning, and I had to call Hassan again. Everything's a strategy. So you guys not realizing. And I keep pointing out, just because you got information, just because you can explain stuff well, doesn't make you a debater. What makes you a debater is you debate. Okay, you got to know the rules of debating. It's always 100 to 0, never 60-40. So you got to know the rules of debating. It's like a debate, like a joust. It's a joust. You're fighting. It's boxing, is kickboxing, is MMA. You're fighting. You're trying to win. It's tennis. You know, you're not trying to make it. You're trying to win quickly and convincing as possible. So, the next morning, I had a strategy. I said, I can't let Hassan know that I solved this contradiction, right? Because now he ain't gonna want to talk, or he's gonna cut me off and try to derail like they did you. So I said, let me pretend like I'm just asking more questions. You know my theme, ask questions. Let me pretend I'm asking more questions about these contradictions. But I'm gonna give the answer while I'm asking more questions. So every question I ask to get more clarity, I'm actually giving an answer on top of that. So Hassan never seen it coming. So Hassan himself, the way I debate, like I said, I want my opponent to feel like I won, not it's a tie or they won. So Hassan, when we were done, just to make a long story short, Hassan said it's not a contradiction. He admitted that his brother was wrong. It was not a contradiction. And I said, Hassan, well, your brother put his faith on the line. And Hassan got really upset. Oh, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? I said, okay, whatever. But I reminded him, your brother put his faith on the line that it was a contradiction. And you're saying it wasn't. So what's up with your brother? So Hassan got mad at that. But I said all this to say, because, you know, I was doing the contradiction thing too. But I was only responding to like the one-on-one contradictions, not everything somebody come up with. So if ILCK came up with his own contradiction, I wasn't entertaining that. I was only entertaining the website contradictions, the one-on-one. I was only entertaining those because those were viral. Those were hot. People were using those only. So, but I wouldn't answer more than one because I'm not going to give you second, third, fourth tries. Pick the best one and try me. Like that was my thing. Out of 101, because I ain't solve them all. So you might get lucky. But I'm willing to roll the dice. You're going to pick one I already solved. So like that was so I think I solved about, I didn't solve a lot because it took a lot of research, a lot of reading. So I solved about 7, you know, like clearly solved, like where it's like no debate. Other ones I solved, I don't count them, but it's like kind of like room for debate. There has been an arrest. So I think after that, I think that's when I stopped like debating altogether. I couldn't find nobody. And now nobody's debating the contradictions anymore. So I just like really just fell off the scene. Just to realize later that some of my videos on another channel got millions of views. I realized like 5 years ago, too late. Like, oh my god! But go ahead.
You see Deacon and Hassan's new camp? What is Genesis?
Yeah, Genesis.
Yeah, you see they tried to call out Captain Tazariak on some debate topic.
Yeah, I don't even know what they were. He said debate. I forgot how he said it. Like New Covenant. I think they said they want to debate.
Yeah,
the New Covenant. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so funny, bro. Both of them are so good at turning a narrative. Like,
Oh
bro,
my god.
these guys need to be they need to be PR representatives for some rappers. Look,
And like,
Deacon, like the way Captain spinned it, the way he spun it, he was like, yeah, I'm not trying to get up on there so they could be like, oh, we beat Cap, they're a new camp and all that. I'm like, man, I see that. I see what you're talking about. And then Deacon got up and responded to what Cap said. He said, you know what? It's cool. He don't want to debate. He said it on his show to Sinetta. I'm past it. We call that a dub. I was like, bro, what?
he called it dub.
Oh man, that's what makes that's the reason why a lot of people follow these guys, because they're so great at spinning the narrative. It don't even matter if they have false doctrine or not.
He said he called it dub. Yeah, like now I couldn't see, like, because the way how dominating Captain speaks and how Saul Hassan speaks, that's just a mismatch. I tell you, it's about matchups and styles.
It would be Deacon.
Like,
it would be Deacon speaking mostly.
And that's why he said, well, me and D, he said 2-on-2, right? And then he said, yeah. But even Kantazar is just too, like, his personality is too fierce for Hassan. Like, Hassan would be like the mouse in the room, where it would feel like
Hassan gets. I feel like he gets snippy though.
Nah, no way. Nah, it's about, again, it's about personalities. Like, you can get snippy all you want, but when you're around other people and those styles match, like, somebody usually yield. If they don't yield, it'll be just arguing over each other. If somebody doesn't yield, and Hassan will yield before Kantazar. He will yield before Captain. And the person who yields is going to be stomped over. He's going to be trampled over. But I could see Captain just like calling Hassan names. You know how Captain could do. That was stupid. And I can't. Like, Hassan's personality, I can't see him like dealing with that. I see him crashing out. Stop calling me stupid. He just seems like that. I want to give no other characteristics, but he seemed. I could tell like he's not really built for like ad hominems and straight confrontation. That's not really biblical, because Captain gonna take it there. And I just don't see him surviving that. I see him either crashing out or being seen as a punk in front of the world. It's going to work out one of those ways. But it was a stupid debate title, I think it was. Hey, let's debate Covenant, the New Covenant. I think because they got so much in common. It's like a debate is just stupid, really. In my opinion, it's just stupid. I think, like, what do they really disagree on? Yes. Like, and what they might disagree on, like, we don't even care about. It's like, yeah, we don't care about that New Covenant differences. Yeah, that's not enough for me to chime in and check you guys out. What they could debate is gear, clothing. Like, it is the Captain style, like, played out. Like that old One West, like, people say Power Ranger gear, like, that should be the debate. Like, should it be more, because Sicarii is like more modern t-shirts, like that. Should it be that, or is Genesis more modern? Should it be like, should we wear something? Should we be catching up to modern day times in our clothing? or should we be dressing like Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago? Like, I think that's a better debate. But anyway, let me go to Meech. Speaking of debate, let me go to Meech's. All right. But I think Captain has some good points, but I'm not mad at Genesis for being created, because I always felt like if you don't totally agree with a doctrine, you should get out of it and start with either join another one that agrees with you, or you go out there and be the first to present your truth. So for them to start Genesis, I don't see a problem with that. I think that's the right thing to do, rather than sit there in a doctrine that you really despise. That's like hypocrite. Okay, so they did the right thing by getting out and starting their own thing. All right. Let me go to Meech.
So
Okay. So once Meech get back, so
I'm here, bro.
I'm only 3 minutes past where I wanted to. So I know it's 37 minutes. I'm gonna go back there. Yeah, okay, here we are. All right. So let me do a little clip for you first. This is what you did. All right. This is what you did. I look through my history. Oh, that's not. Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay. This is what you did when you debated these guys.
Four picks against Grossman and 2 fumbles. What do you see about the Bears? We shut them down.
You already knew going in. Sicarii is who we thought they were. Like, they're nothing different. They didn't surprise you. They shouldn't have surprised you. Sicarii are who we thought they were.
That way.
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were. What we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
All right. So here's the part that you did. So you got to know that they are who you thought they were. There's a Sicarii, and they debate a certain way. They're not the most truthful organization. Okay, you got to know this going in. All right. Now, this is what you did.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
That right there. You had them, and you let them off the hook. All right, so now let me go to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me prove it.
But didn't you guys say something about the Northern Kingdom? Well, okay, so let me ask this. The other one down to verse 11 where we're at, going after another God with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger. All right. Okay. So did you find that reference to Zara?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 32:21. Yeah.
Okay. So when it says, and I'm reading Deuteronomy 32:21, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with the foolish nation.
You pretty much showing that this is the reference for Romans.
Right.
Okay.
So when Israel provoked God to jealousy, were they worshiping God or worshiping another God?
Yeah, worship.
So this is the hard part for everybody. The hard part for everybody who debates is like deciding where you should you ask the question, or should you just assert the answer? So
Right.
So this one right here, I'm thinking you should have just told them. You should have been like, okay, so here, because it's clear. Like you ask a question that's like really rhetorical. Like we all know the answer. Everybody that reads the Bible, we all know that they were following idol gods. So I think right here you should just remind them, like, okay, so Israel were following the idol gods because that's what they argue. That's their premise to Northern Kingdom being the Gentiles. And like, okay, so we know that, and that's another thing that you got to point out. You got to point out, wait, why would they just be called Gentiles for worshiping idols and not all Israel? Because all Israel worship idols.
Mm.
So aren't they all Gentiles? Because they all got removed. The Northern Kingdom got removed first out of Samaria by the Syrians for worshiping idols, and then the Southern Kingdom got removed next. All in Second Kings, they got removed last for worshiping idols, but just by the Babylonians. So different people just removed them, but they both were guilty of worshiping idols, and God was disgusted with both groups, both kingdoms. Now, I even got better arguments than that, because it goes back to then what is Gentile like? Because we're reading Gentiles, right? The definition from Blue Letter, but then they'll contradict it with their personal definition, saying Israelites are Gentiles in action or description. So it's like, so now the Blue Letter definition doesn't mean that's not accurate, because your definition is different. We read Blue Letter, now we're going with you, or Thayer's. We're reading what they say Gentiles are, which are.
Did you see how he tried to? I don't know if you were in for this part of the conversation. Quick sidebar. He tried to say that they called non-Israelites Jews, and he went to Acts 24 and 24.
He said they call who what?
They called non-Israelites Jews. Are you in there for that?
No.
Yeah, they said, Drusilla, how they call her a Jewess?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, oh yeah, she was.
Wait. So how is she not? Okay, do you know why they call her not Israelite?
Because her father was an Edomite.
Yeah, but that's their personal doctrine. See, that's what you got.
That's what I'm saying. I asked him. I was like, okay, well, what if? Because we've seen times, and they even, what's crazy? They agreed. They in Second Chronicles, First Chronicles 2, where it talks about Sheshan. They agree that that's an actual Egyptian, and they said, "Oh, that was just a rarity in the law." I was like, "Yes." So that means there is an exception to the normal of the father determining, because it's always about determining the tribe, not determining an Israelite. That was the main point that I made. And I even showed them, I'm like, when you look at this word Jewess, it's just the feminine form of the word Jew. And talks about how Jesus is the king of Jews. It talks about the Jews and the Greeks. Like this is the word that's used. So I just did not see their point, what they were trying to say at all.
But the point, yeah. No, okay. So you have a feminine word for Jews. You got a feminine word for Greeks also. I think it's 1675, which shows.
I think Helene is feminine itself.
Yeah, but I'm like, but it could be different.
Masculine, yeah.
Helen, I think, might be the place. That might be Greece itself. But what I'm saying is, for it to be a person from Greece or a non-Israelite, that could be male. They could be all males. But when you specifically want to talk about a non-Israelite Greek, that can be also a non-Israelite who's not Greek but from a different nation. If you want to talk about a woman, it's 1675. I think that was the Syrophoenician woman. Yeah. So anyway,
Hellenist.
So the point is, I'm not focused on the word right now because I'm not looking at it. But the bigger point is that there's a specific word to denote a woman non-Israelite and a woman Israelite. So you were here,
right.
you were here Jewish a lot for women that are actually Jews. So they can't rationalize her being a Jewish and being an actual Israelite, though the Edomite or non-Israelite father, because that goes against the doctrine. So they have to tell you as though it's a fact. So, but your job at that point was to say, yeah, according to your doctrine, she was a non-Israelite. Okay, but according to me and the scholars, she was an Israelite. So in other words, like you're twisting something to be right. So maybe, so now this is where you guys would just be split. Okay, I believe she's an Israelite. You don't. So let's just hold that because y'all went there for some crazy reason. Like I'm gonna buy into it. I don't. So now show me a different example of where you're going, because that one ain't gonna work. And then you could use Sheshan and wherever else as a proof text. Like, yeah, no, this happens more than once. So let's go somewhere else because that ain't gonna work.
I was trying to think of the one with the woman who determined the tribe of the child because she was from or it was another one we had. It wasn't Leviticus. It was another place. It was like in
Numbers.
Kings or something. You showed it to me.
You talking about numbers? I think
Numbers.
numbers.
Yeah.
But the Israelites is women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's numbers. So wait, so yeah. So with all that, yeah, you can't let them say she's not Israelite. Like, nah, like, so, Jewish is a female Jew. Yeah, that's all that is. And you can go to any concordance, Bible dictionary, it's gonna agree with that. You guys gonna make it not say that because it goes against your doctrine. I get it. So we can leave that right there, and my point can still be made, but can your point still be made without using that? So that's where you kind of go. Like, okay, we're gonna argue this and go in circles. So let's just, can your point be made without this passage? If not, then we're stuck here. But if it can be made somewhere else, then let's do that, because right here we're gonna disagree, and I'm gonna hold fast to what I know about this Jewish woman. Okay, so here you're referencing you're connecting, referencing Romans 11 and Deuteronomy 21, 32 and 21. Okay.
Yeah.
Another God.
Okay, so when God is going to provoke Israel to jealousy, is he going to?
Okay, so now I know the point I was making. So I was saying, like, this is something you just told them.
Yeah.
Like, because when you ask me questions, they're gonna be pissed off. So that's why you got to mix it up. You got to like tell them the truth and then ask me questions. Everything can't ask questions
because then if they object, then they can jump in, but they just don't feel like they're the only ones answering questions. Okay.
Yeah, that's how they're gonna feel. Okay, so I'd have been like, all right, because this is the obvious truth. So Israel has somehow the new. I'm saying I got these guys. So, but apparently the guy I had was not for tonight. He was for tomorrow. By the way, I said Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, I can hop on. I'm gonna just listen in like you did on this last one, just to see how you do it in your tactics and just take some notes.
Yeah. So
because it's just for me, like once we got down to virgin birth, like I knew which points to go to, but the tactics itself, like didn't spread over to this. So I'm just kind of just learning right now.
Yeah. So all right. So this right here, I would have told him. Okay. So God was pro jealousy because they were choosing other gods. When, like if you have a girlfriend and you want to do an analogy, you got a girlfriend. My girlfriend's jealous, not coming another guy, coming another girl. Right. Okay, so she's gonna provoke me to jealous. How? She's gonna get another guy, right?
Right.
So God. So now your point would be like, so God is gonna provoke them to jealous by getting another people, and like they gotta kind of go with that.
Provoking the jealousy with Israel or with another people?
Contextually in Romans 11 with Israel.
Well, yeah, I'm asking.
All right. See, now that's the idiot I was talking about earlier. So I knew he was dumb when he first said something, and he just confirming it over and over and over. You're asking about Romans 32, and I don't care who answered that question. They're dumb too. You're asking about Romans 32:21.
Deuteronomy,
Yeah, Deuteronomy. He slipped in contextually Romans 11. Like, yeah, now that's a stupid dude. And sometimes it got to be like pointed out, but at some point, maybe right then and there or later, especially after you get done explaining, like, yo, so if I ask you about Deuteronomy 32, why are you answering Romans 11? Because these are the main guys who talk about context. Like, how is that context?
Right.
Like, do you know what context actually means? It means with text.
You know what? I should have brought this out earlier than later, because I brought it out later in the convo. I said, well, if you believe that prophecy can say one thing and the apostles can reapply it to something a little bit different, then that's no different than what the Christians say about Romans 9 and Hosea. Yeah, he said this to Northern Israel, but he's applying it to Gentiles.
Yeah, no. There's a better way to say it. This is how they phrase it. They say, when does this what I'm getting to with you? Okay, so you're asking about Deuteronomy 32:21. He said, yeah, but context Romans 11, yeah. Okay, so he's going there. So they're to and fro. They're like Satan. Watch this.
I'm asking. I'm asking
No.
here though, and back in the Torah where it says this.
Okay, lay down.
Yeah.
If Israel moved God to jealousy by going after another God, you're saying God's going to provoke Israel to jealousy by going after Israel?
Well, the problem that you're having is in the Torah, that's talking about another nation. But the way that Paul is using it, how he's applying scripture, he's using it to talk about the other Israelites.
So, okay, so you're
here. So at this point, I'd have been like, oh, so prophecy changed. See, that's their phrase they always use. See, like, you're not good at understanding them and how they argue.
Yeah.
But you should be. If you listen to them, you gotta, I mean, that's important. You debate somebody, you want to know, like, what do they use when you try to point out something? Hey, when does prophecy change? Okay, so now they just did it.
Yeah.
So prophecy changes. So prophecy is talking about. So okay, and plus you got him to. I mean, this was like to me, it's like in the debate. Like, I probably wouldn't have left off this. If I did, I came back to this because this is what I got you. I was like, okay, because they agreed that these were different nations originally in 32. It's like, wait, yeah, you guys admit that? Oh shit, you're done.
Oh, so I could go two ways. I could say either prophecy changed or this prophecy never happened.
You can do both ways, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, okay, so yeah. Now again, what they're doing might seem like it works for them on just a conversation on YouTube soon, but that admittance in a debate, they lost. That's a loss.
Yeah, I just didn't capitalize. Yeah.
That's a loss. Like, wait a minute. So you're agreeing that the prophecy was about non-Israelites. Okay, then we read about Israel in the fulfillment, and we read about non-Israelites. And somehow you're telling me these non-Israelites are Israelites now. I mean, they're literally categorized as non-Israelites in both passages.
Right.
This one says nations, this one says Gentiles, and those are interchangeable. And Israel aren't these people in both passages. Israel is separate. Like this, that. If I'm a lawyer, like, you're being acquitted. If I'm your defense lawyer, if I'm the prosecution, like, if I'm part of the prosecution, you're guilty. Like, wait a minute. So you do know, hey, nations and Gentile are interchangeable words, right? You could use one you could replace them back and forth. But Israel and Gentiles, that's not interchangeable. Is that interchangeable? No. And it might act stupid, so you probably gotta say it again. Okay. Then you gotta show different places where words are interchangeable. Okay. All right, here we go now. Feline and cat. You know, I could say feline, I could say cat. I could say boy, I could say male child. And it's still get my point across. Can I do that with Israelite and Gentile throughout the Bible? No, right? Okay, so they're not interchangeable. It's like seed and sperm, like plant. That's not interchangeable. Okay, so we can't use it. So now we know that Gentiles and nations are interchangeable, and Israelites and nations, or Israelite Gentiles, are not. So both passages are talking about nations and heathens and Gentiles. Man, so how do we squeeze Israel in there when Paul is speaking about Israel? Now, another thing where I think you messed up on, where you tried to establish too late, was Romans 11, right? After he gave his position, at some point, these questions got to be asked. And like, if you want to, when they make arguments, you can ignore it. Or I will, if it's a dumbass statement like he did, well, we want to establish that just because it's Israel here, now I'm going to address that. But everything else I just might ignore. Just so I can write down, just so I can ask my question. Okay, what's your question? Okay, yeah, whatever. All right, now here's my question. Who is Paul speaking to, and who is he speaking about? Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Okay, so now because it's 5 of those guys, I know how this works. They'll override each other. Okay, see, how much I said that? I disagree. So I'm gonna say, hey, are we all in agreement that the second? Hey, put that down. Don't swing that. Put that down. Are we all in agreement the second person he's speaking to is who? We all agree to that? And he's speaking about who? Okay. Also, I think you didn't establish was the branch, was the tree. Because isn't all of Israel natural to the tree? Because like an Israelite in Instagram, Wi-Fi, WFI Israelites that just sent me Jeremiah 16:11. Like, I don't know why he doesn't support him, but he sent me that. It's like, yo, so you're admitting that all the Israelites are the idolatry. Okay, so but this one is saying natural and non-natural. So whether Israel turned their back on God or not, they were still naturally part of the idolatry. So how are they non-natural? Because they went against God. They're still natural. They just wicked. Okay. So those are just different arguments. It's a whole bunch of them just in this. You could just that need to be answered. And by them answering these questions, their confidence are broken because they realize, okay, this guy knows a lot about what's going on. I just can't give any old crazy answer because he's gonna have this question. And like that's how they get it. Oh, damn, every answer I give, he's gonna have this question. So they're a little more cautious and they be more humble when they talk. These guys are proud as hell. So right here, you ask the question about the gods, right? And God, so he said, hey, man, in the New Testament, it changes, right? And that's when I would have said, oh, so prophecy changes right away. Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. Well, yeah. But now I hear him out first. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, then once they get done, I'm just going to further clarify. Okay, so the prophecy was originally about nations, not Israel. God provoking jealousy with those people, okay? And then the fulfillment is about him provoking God's people. And by the way, that doesn't make sense because the jealousy that Israel provoked him to, who are these Israelites? Are they northern? So you got to go there with them. You got to make them sound dumb because now they got to say, they got to pick a kingdom. Because if they all screwed up, then how is he provoking them to jealousy by picking up half of the screwed up crew? And that wouldn't fit in Romans 11 because if they all screwed up, then nobody's the election and everybody's like being grafted back in. So nobody's a natural branch. So it's just so much in there that you could throw in at one chance. Every time you talk, those are points I'll be making. Like that sting. Like, all right, okay. So what are you saying? So brother.
No, that's it.
So he asked you, brother. So when it says stumble, what does that mean? Brother, stumble means stumble. Like this is the English translation. the translator says stumble, so it's going to mean stumble. Like, dude, they're giving us English equivalents to the Greek. So whatever English word we're reading is probably the way we use it. All right. So let me say, so stop having me define, stumble in Greek. That's just stupid. I'm going to press play.
Saying wait, I got a question.
That it's okay for.
Yeah. So when they talk about the priests being the ones that were blinded, how would you go about that?
All right, now that okay. So there you let them off the hook again too. So I mean, it's in the context. So they agree that this is Israel. Okay, I wouldn't even argue this even further. Like, it's some stuff. It's just like, I'm just like amazed how dumb you are, by the responses. If I ask those guys, okay, so this is all Israel, right? Okay, cool. So let's keep reading about Israel. So, matter of fact, let me just pull the text up. I pulled it last night. Okay, so let's read about Israel, right? So let's go here. Yeah, some things I'm just not going to argue. I'm really, okay. Let's move on. I'm just like, whatever you say, whatever answer you give me, just good. Let's just move on, because this is just retarded at this point. All right, so here we go. Okay, so they agree that we said, what then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for. So Israel, this encompasses all of Israel, right? Northern and southern together. Yeah. Okay, so northern and southern, we're trying to obtain something with God, right? Yeah. Did he obtain it? No. Okay, cool. But the election had obtained it. All right. So is the election a group of Israel? Yeah. So now we just read Israel did not obtain this, except for a group of Israel, amongst a group of Israel amongst Israel did, and they called the election. So it says, and the rest were blinded. I mean, that's just common sense. So this small group or large group, part of Israel, were called the election because they obtained what Israel was seeking for as a collective. And Israel, who did not obtain it, were called blinded. I mean, like you can't make that more simpler than just that. Nah, see what happened was, all right, bro. Did they all know? Then he mentioned Christ. Yeah, we got nothing to do. This ain't. We don't limit this to Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ don't need to speak to somebody to get them to reject something. See, that's what you didn't point out. Christ knew people's thoughts before they said something. So he don't need to speak to everybody. And the people he speaks to is really just for Israel's sake. Like he's proving a point. It's like an inside joke. Like he's showing Israel something by exposing or healing somebody, right? He's showing Israel. So he's exposing Israel. Like, listen, I'm gonna do a few things in the midst of y'all just to show that all y'all are disbelievers. So now they try to hold you to Christ talk to everybody. Well, guess what? When he drew a conclusion in Mark 6:4, look at this. When he drew his conclusion right here, but Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor but his own country and amongst his own kin and in his own house. Okay. And look at verse 6. And he marveled because of their unbelief. And he went around about the villages teaching. Okay. When he says their unbelief, is he saying the people he just spoke to? Or he's saying Israel as a whole? When he said he marveled at their unbelief.
Or the people he just spoke to.
So he said, probably not. Okay, cool. So when he says there's no faith in Israel, like when he got other passages, he says something like this.
I've not seen greater faith, no, not in all of Israel.
Something like that, yeah. All right. Yeah, that passage And yes, so Mark right here, where I'm at, Mark verse 10. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, "Really I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel." So now, is he basing that on everybody he spoke to in Israel? Wait, no, I'm sorry. Is this assessment applicable to all of Israel, or just a few he spoke to?
When he said, "I've not seen no great faith, no, not in all of Israel," that would be applicable to all Israel.
Right. So that debunks what they said. So he didn't have to speak to everybody to get them to reject him to make this conclusion. He spoke to enough. He spoke to enough. Just like the Most High when he was trying to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and Abraham kept coming to him, "Hey man, what about this many? This many?" Like God don't gotta address everybody to destroy it. Like he knows. I seen enough. You're done.
Yeah, they were thinking that to be blinded means you reject something, but to be blinded just means to not understand something. Like it's simple. One of them asked me, and I don't think it was on the call yesterday. I think it was a different guy, but he says, so if a fourth grader has never learned algebra, are they blind to algebra? I was like, yes, they don't understand algebra. Like that's simple. Either
he said it yesterday. I heard him say that.
Okay, yeah. They got the same analogies, man. These guys are weird.
See, but the thing is, like, I'm not going to debate what type of blind somebody suffer. I don't care. What I'm going to establish is that the election were a special group of Israelites who got it,
right?
And whatever blind is, the rest didn't. The rest were that. Whatever y'all think it is, the rest were that. Because even in Islam, with the nation, when the Muslims debate, I think Surah 32, 1 and 4, the Muslim nation of Islam debate blindness in there, right? Because it says on a day of judgment, the blind will fear Allah, something like that. The nation of Islam is confused with that blindness. Is the Sunnis are not, and they only are when the nation of Islam confuse them. So the nation of Islam is like the one west of the Muslims, by the way. Like they confuse the regular Muslims on their doctrine. They make them like second guess what they always believe. Yeah, so the Sunni Muslims or the Muslims, Orthodox Muslims, are like Christians compared to the One West Nation Islam members, and that's why I said Nation Islam members. I believe they started the One West organization. By the way, I believe one of the guys who left Elijah Muhammad following when Elijah Muhammad died, I believe a guy left that, went back to the church, but he took the Elijah Muhammad influence with him and helped start the One West doctrine. Okay, Cindy, Gavin. Okay, lay down. Gary, sleep.
That wouldn't be a stretch or far fetched because it's basically, yeah, like you said, it's the same thing to Christianity and Hebrew Israelism.
Yeah, and plus all the talking points came like it was never heard of until Nation of Islam. The white man being in devil, and the Nation of Islam teach that everybody is not everybody's God's chosen people. They don't include they don't include Africans. They say Hispanic. Same thing, but way before, like 50 years earlier, they'll say Hispanics, Native Americans.
You got to write a book or an article on this, bro.
Yeah, so it's a similar.
You know how many people would buy this, bro? Like, think about how much Hebrew Israelite apologetics there is out there. Vocab did a decent job, but other than that, there's not much out there.
Yeah. Vocab did a good job on the history. Like he should do a book too. He should do a book when he goes to Abba Bibbins, and like I will buy that book if he was to put together a book speaking about the early fathers of the One West doctrine and
yeah.
Now I will buy that.
He has videos on it, bro. He has really good videos going into the history of all of it.
Yeah, but sometimes I just sit down and just read. I don't want to like watch a video because I just feel like when you're reading it gives a more peaceful optic to the public where they kind of like leave you alone. I think when you're watching the video, I think people kind of don't respect your freedom or your peace. They'll come and talk to you, and yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, but I think that. But yeah, so anyway, with you, I wouldn't have argued what type of blindness. Because that's what got you rabbit holes, and I think you started that. You asked the question about
Yeah.
specificity in blindness. I'm like, yeah, he started the rabbit hole, and now they're
Because I was
arguing.
thinking, because my the way my mind was working during that time is, if they try to argue that this blindness is only particular to people who've heard the truth, then these Gentiles are those who have not heard the truth. That was where I was thinking. So I'm like, okay, we have to agree here, otherwise they're gonna just say, oh, these are the ones that didn't hear about the truth. But then if they agree that the blindness is just people who don't have the truth, whether you reject it or not, this would include all Israel, and these broken off branches, the blinded, cannot be the Gentiles. That would have been my,
Yeah,
overall
I think
conclusion.
it's an easier way to argue that.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to argue that, but the degree of blindness is irrelevant. It's about the election wasn't blind and everybody was where. And we're reading about Israel as a whole. So right when you did that, hey brother, I want to establish that just because this is all Israel, this encompasses all Israel, doesn't mean that other folks mentioned are not Israelites too. And then that's you let them say that. You didn't say it. For one, they're trying to hold you to prophecy. Prophecy, brother. We're in prophecy. As I said earlier, we're in prophecy. Does it say the Israelites will be called Gentiles? They're going to read words and bywords. Okay. So let me show you something. It might be in my questions. Let me make sure.
Yo, you got your.
So
you gonna send me those notes?
Yeah, I do that. I don't even know how to save these. Like, because a certain iPad, I see them like disappearing. I don't even. You know what? I'm gonna copy all this and put it in an email so I don't lose it. All right. So I want to get to something. It wasn't that. Was it this? Nope. No. That might be the argument. Okay. So now I want to know what prophecies where Israelites will be called Gentiles in the future, right? So they're going to say, nah, it's in the curses when they be called bywords and proverbs. I heard Captain say that. All right. Duly noted.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see where it says 2 Chronicles 7:20?
Hold on.
On my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them, and this house, which I have sanctified for my name, will I cast out of my sight, and I will make it to be a proverb and byword among all nations. It said nothing about calling them a byword. He's going to make them. So Israel will be the byword and proverb. They're not going to be called one. So again, what prophecy says that the Israelites will be acknowledged as Gentiles? And then they got to show me a case where Israelites would ever call Gentiles, like, and because they're saying Paul's doing it, but then did Jesus do it?
Yeah, where was this in prophecy?
You're just making this stuff up. This had to be foreseen that they'd be so wicked. Now, here's the problem too: the most Israel was ever wicked was what according to your knowledge, RCK, whoever else in the chat. What period do you think Israel was the most wicked? Because that means that they will be Gentiles at that time for sure.
I think during the time of, honestly, Ahab.
Yeah, it would be during the king era. It'll be start from
Yeah.
Ahab on down.
Yeah.
So that's when they were the most wicked. But what were they called? Israelites. So if being a Gentile means you went off and didn't accept God and went to idol worship, well, they were doing that the most under Ahab and everybody down, all those kings afterwards, and they still were not called Gentiles. So when they were the most wicked, they were not called Gentiles. So now when they're less wicked during Roman, during Paul's reign and Christ on the scene, when they're less wicked, now they're Gentiles. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, I would even stretch it. I would stretch it to other places in the Torah and in the book of Judges and in Samuel. I would say, what about in Judges when they were constantly going after false gods? Where were they called Gentiles in Judges? I don't know if you read Judges, but it's like a continuous cycle of when they get delivered out of captivity, their deliverer dies and they go after idol gods. It's like a continuous cycle.
Yeah, I read
And bro,
Judges.
yeah, it got so bad that at one point a woman was ruling.
Yeah, Althea.
Yeah. So why weren't they called? Wouldn't their most their lowest point be when there is no man fit to rule, that only a woman can rule? Why weren't they called, Gentiles there?
Yeah. So now I would probably ask that question because it's like order when I debate. I will ask that question only when I say, right, like you will ask the question like, all right, when they say the Israelites are Gentiles in Romans 11, then you got to ask, okay, so like, is Gentile is that like, what is that now? Is that like an action, or is that like you're a new nationality? Like, so you're no longer Israel now, you're on the Gentile side. Like, what is that? Like, what do you make a Gentile to mean? So I can go with that. So then when they say that, then when they give the answer, then I ask those questions just now. Okay, so if an action makes them, if a wicked action, if an idolatrous action makes them a Gentile, then why were they not called Gentile in their worst, in their most idolatrous ways?
That's where that line of questioning starts going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why were they always seen as Israel? So now they're gonna make it. So now they gotta make up. So now when you ask those questions, they're gonna start making up stuff on the fly. So, but you gotta be prepared for made up answers. And then, like, I'm not sure if I will always debate their made up answers, but I think that's what I'm trying to get them to do that. So I can laugh, make clips out of it. So like, okay, look how dumb. Because again, this is not a real debate with a real audience. This is just like a back and forth. So it's really a lot going on that you're trying to establish. Okay, I want clips to show how dumb they are, but I also want to control the conversation where Gentiles are Gentiles and Israelites are Israelites. But it's not a real debate where like I gotta do certain things or be right. Yes. What do you like? Tell me about your cartoon. So he's trying to talk me to so I can lay down with him and go to sleep. All right. So now let me get back to the video. Video.
Apostle to reapply scripture, which was meant in a different way.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Okay. No, I'm just saying because we make the same argument with
Tom was
Romans.
trying to give me advice on the Virginburg marathon. No, Bias, you gotta do it this way, do it that way, do it this way. I'm like, all right, Tom, next debate, come up. Come on. The price is right. Come
Easier
on down.
said than done, man.
Yeah, he came on there. Oh my God. That was hilarious, yeah. It didn't go nowhere. He thought it would go. The dude just flat out ignored everything he said, like, and just made his own argument. And then I had to step in and help it out and put it back on course. He's like, yo, you right, yo. I told you, man, that doesn't, it's a way you got to talk to these guys. That does not work. Daddy. They're not honest guys. Yes. Hi. Yeah, that's high. That's high. That's high. That's high. All
right. With Hoshea, but that's another topic.
Okay. That's high.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but it just depends on the context of how the person is using the scripture.
Okay. All right. So
and you let that go. It didn't like somebody made a great point. Somebody made a great point in the chat. He made a dumbass answer, right? And you say, okay. That means you agree. Right. That means you agree.
So God's gonna provoke Israel to jealousy with Israel here. Okay. So right now in Romans 11, from verse 1 down to verse 11 where we're at, has Paul given any indication of northern or southern outside of just saying Israel for all Israel like we agreed in verse 7?
He hasn't given like as if he's speaking the northern or southern kingdom, but he's given an example of how he's speaking to cast out Israelites.
Okay, so I'll say, okay, so if he's not speaking in division, neither should we. We should speak like Paul, speak to Israel as a collective. Since we talk about context, so let's stick with the context. Paul's not subdividing Israel, so neither should we. Give it the context.
So I think I should have asked too. So when Paul speaks about the blinded out Israelites, are these cast out Israelites? What do you should have asked them how they define cast out? Are they just
Yeah. Because they're saying terms and words without a definition. Yeah, it's flying. It's flying. Yeah. So now they do that on purpose, or maybe not. And now you're like defining yourself under your own definition in your head, and all they're gonna say is that's not our definition.
Okay, but that could be both northern and southern.
Yeah, it could be either one.
Yeah, so it's not really one or the other. It's both unless Paul distinguishes it, right?
Now, if you want to get into the nitty gritty, at this time he will be talking about the Jews that scatter abroad, because the northern kingdom at this time they're in a whole nother place right now.
Yeah, but they came back at the around this time. They definitely at least came back to Pentecost.
No, sir.
You don't believe they came to Pentecost?
No.
All the Jews? I mean, Acts 2 says
no,
Jews.
Not all of them, but some of them that were in the that were from northern Israel, they came back to Pentecost. If you read the places that they came from, and you go and read about the exile of the northern kingdom, it's the same places they were scattered to.
Yeah, but the northern kingdom is gone. Like at this time, Samaria is ran by Gentiles.
All right, now watch the low key. Look, at this time, Samaria is ran by Gentiles. Unbiased sports is right, but watch they sneak in the remnant. Now they're gonna disagree with Divine Prosper, with the majority conspiracy theory. They're gonna come with the remnant. It's a sprinkle.
So you only got like a sprinkle of Northern Kingdom around at this time. Northern Kingdom was long gone. They're gone. They're lost. That's why they call the lost 10 tribes.
So, but didn't you guys say something about the Northern Kingdom? Well, okay, so let me ask this before we even go any further. Who are the Gentiles?
And that question should have been asked after the introduction. That question was way too late. And I'm not sure if I was in at this point. I think I was in at this point. And I heard you ask that now. I'm like, oh shit, it's over. Like, ain't no way in hell we're gonna establish something when they're just
all the way down the line. Yeah.
When they're just now forced to define who the Gentiles were. I've been warned you that. Like, yeah, you can't be talking to people knowing that it's a great possibility that you guys disagree on the definition of the words you're both using. It's like, how do you communicate like that? You're saying the same word, but to him it means something totally different. Cannot do that. You got to establish. You got to comb it through. Like, yo, when you say Gentile, what do you mean? When I say heathen, what do I mean? When I say Israel, what you have to do that with these guys, and you didn't. And now you ask this now because it dawned on you, like, yo, let me ask this guy what makes a Gentile, and it's like way too late because they ain't gonna let you handcuff them now. Like, nah, we're doing good. We ain't gonna let you handcuff us all of a sudden.
The Gentiles are the outcast of Israel.
Hold on.
Outcast,
Romans
the
11.
outcast of Israel.
Okay, so so hold on, all right, let's go.
Okay, so it's not going to be northern or southern. It's just going to be the outcast of Israel. Wouldn't the outcast of Israel fall?
See, like you are too determined to stick to your plan and ask your question. When I would have been like, so Gentiles aren't non-Israelites. Like you let him give again. Like you're not letting him show his hand because now when he told you Gentiles were Israelites and you try to pull out trotted down by the Israelites or the Israelites crucified Christ. Not I'm saying Israelites. When they say trotted down by the Gentiles and Gentiles crucified Christ, they're gonna say, nah, those are Gentiles. No, but you said they were no. It's two. Now they're gonna further no. I would have them pulled out, show their hand right there. So Gentiles, really? So Gentiles aren't the non-Israelites. So you guys believe Gentiles? What's going on here, man? Like, are you guys serious?
Right.
But you were too focused on your next point when like that no, because I know you, especially because you know they believe more. Now, if you don't know they believe more, then yeah, you go to the next point. But you know they believe more. You know they also believe at some point Gentiles are natural Gentiles. So, but you let them stick to an argument that they're going to run from later, or a definition they're going to run from later.
Under the blinded.
When did the outcast?
No.
Okay. So okay, the outcast, do they see the truth?
Does that mean they're blind?
Well, I'm just trying to get,
So now this part I thought, okay, you guys are way off. You guys are way off the task at this point.
Well, no, you're asking leading questions based on your ideology, and I just said no. How can Gentiles, whether they didn't have the truth or not know the truth, they weren't in Israel to witness who the world called Jesus? That's what it's referencing. They're blind because the Jews that were there didn't believe in Jesus. That's the blindness it's talking about. Yeah. Now, the scattered Israelites didn't know anything about anything. They weren't there.
Come on, they grew up as Greek.
Yeah, so how would they even recognize the
I'm
truth?
just asking to cook my daughter some food.
Yeah, okay. I know it's late, 12 o'clock. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's he's like,
you want to pick back up tomorrow?
Yeah, you see, he's not going to bed till I lay down. If I lay down, I'm going to sleep. So I know it's late. I just haven't looked at the clock. I thought it was like 11. All right, yeah, so let me get off too because he ain't going to wake up in the morning.
We at 41. Man, this is a 3-hour combo. I'm going to break up the whole video into parts to make it easier for anybody looking at this because ain't nobody going to watch 3.5 hours.
Yeah, and like my goal was pretty much right because at this point, I think around this point, I mentally checked out anyway. Cause I thought y'all was just all off away from what you're supposed to be arguing. And
yeah.
Start nitpicking. Y'all start nitpicking things, and they love that.
Yeah.
Because you're no longer talking about Gentiles anymore and Israel and grabbed it in.
And you already know I had an issue with that, with veering off, even with the virgin birth, but I learned to stay on topic. But with this, it's kind of like now we done harvested this one field over here. Now we had a new field, different layout. So just trying to figure my way around this. But I'm probably just gonna take notes on the things that they brought up and the points that I could probably improve on for sure.
Yeah, well, what you got to do is shift to a 3-hour video and just focus on their answer and their replies and just figure out a strategy with their answers, how to make them contradict their answers or show how the answers are just wrong. That's what you got to do. You got to say, okay, I'm going to tell you guys again. I'm going to ask same questions, and I'm going to need these same answers. And then so now based off these answers, I got a question now for you. Okay, what about this? But you got to have an answer for that question. It's like rhetorical. You ask me a question where you really want the answer, but you already guessed what they're going to say, and you got a response for that too.
Got okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Because I already know there's 3, maybe 4 strong points that I made that I did not capitalize on in this. I was just trying to go point by point, and again, that's one thing about debates is you have to be ready for their answer. You can't just expect that, hey, this is the only answer that they can give. You have to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, but you got to expect what they're going to say. Like, okay, this is Sicarii. That some of them are half retarded, so they're probably going to say this or that. And this is my response.
They get their talking points from. I've heard the chief priest argument in Romans 11 from who gave that argument?
Who?
We saw a video where somebody made the argument that the chief priests and the rulers of Israel were the ones that were blinded. Who was that? I gotta dig through because I could have swore we had seen that. It might have been Sons of Thunder. It might have been them. I don't know. I'm gonna go through my playlist and I'm gonna go through this video and take some notes. I'm about to do a whole deep study on Gentiles and start bringing that whole, bringing up a bunch of verses and asking them and just kind of going through that way, make it easier.
Yeah.
But
all right. Yeah, I'm getting off too.
Cool. All right, man. Thanks for the tips. I'll catch you tomorrow, bro. So long.
Peace.